The government recently told car makers to ignore a right to repair law. Why did they do this? How will it affect right to repair? What the heck is right to repair anyway? Hola! I'm the CEO of Mike, the Backyard Mechanic, currently a $0 million company. And this is my car. No, this is my car. It's not my car. I'm not in the garage. It's 1,000,000 degrees out there, and I set up a security camera so I could keep an eye on it. What is right to repair? Do you get frustrated when your iPhone battery runs down and you have to go to the Apple Genius Bar and pay $30,000 for them to replace it? No! I've got a pink one. Right to repair forces manufacturers to open up repairs to owners and third-party shops. Right to repair affects everything from cell phones to farm equipment to appliances to wheelchairs. But hey, this isn't Mike the Backyard Genius Bar. How does this affect cars? You probably already think that new cars don't have carburetors or distributors, so they're impossible to work on now, and you only watch Mike the Backyard Mechanic for his clever jokes and devastating charm. By the way, don't like this video. Like me! The key to working on a modern car is to have an OBD2 scanner. I bought this one for $20 and it connects to my phone. I'll connect to my car right now. Connecting. Yes, scan all codes. And wow, I have a lot of codes. So you might look at the codes for your car and think, damn, that'll cost a lot of money. I look at the codes and I think, oh yeah, future video content. The point is, the reason we have the standardized port in all of our cars is because of a 1994 California law requiring them. In 2013, Massachusetts voters passed a vehicle right to repair law. In response, car makers agreed to open their systems to owners and third parties. This is called the Memorandum of Understanding. And all was well in the automotive world. However, the agreement excluded wirelessly transmitted data. The 2020 Massachusetts state law looked to unexclude that exclusion. Maine is now proposing a similar law. These laws are referred to by different names, but I'm going to refer to them generically as Right to Know or R2K. No, that's RFK. R2K is ultimately about the right to know what data is being monitored and transmitted. Right to know has implications for right to repair, so these are all under the same umbrella. There are hundreds of ECUs in cars now, all run by software. Updates are needed to fix bugs and conflicts. But it's not easy to get customers into the dealership to get their chips flashed. Because customers are lazy.
I wash myself with a rag on a stick.
Wirelessly transmitted data, also known as telemetrics, also known as over-the-air, also known as OTA, was made popular by Tesla. This was valuable for the fledgling EV company as they could get cars out the door and update the software later. Car makers like GM and Ford quickly followed. Technically, though, it was GM and their OnStar service that started telemetrics 25 years ago. Telemetrics is two-way communication. It is not only used for updates, it also collects information. R2K insists that the owner of the car, and by proxy their mechanic, have a right to read this information that is being collected. The car makers, represented by organizations such as the Alliance for Automotive Innovation, sent a letter to the Maine Attorney General hoping to stop their law by claiming, the data access includes location of the vehicle, the time of day, and driving behaviors. Exposing it could create gaps in cybersecurity protections, risk driver safety, and privacy. Translation?
I'm recording you through your bedroom window. I can't show you the video because it would be violating your privacy, and someone could get it from you and make a sex tape. For God's sake!
I have to side note here, because this letter does too. While it is primarily about Maine's Repair Act, it also complains about their SMART Act. The SMART Act is also problematic. It reduces the number of years of protection for automotive design patents and would devalue the work of these employees and place American jobs at risk. Whenever a corporation tells politicians they are worried about workers, hold on to your Banana Republic wallet. The SMART Act states that it amends U.S. design patent law to reduce from 14 years to 2.5 years the time the car manufacturers can enforce their patents on collision repair parts like fenders, quarter panels, and doors against alternative part suppliers. I don't know, sounds reasonable to me. Currently, if I back into a fire hydrant and shatter the bumper of my 2010 Mustang, that bumper is still covered under a patent, driving up the cost. But to be fair, and handsome, I also understand that patents are factored into the car makers' budgets and profits. But this does not devalue the work of employees and place American jobs at risk.
Yo, shout the season, man.
Getting back to R2K, there are others on the side of the car makers. Consumer Reports argued that releasing understandably secret details about vehicle security, smart key codes, and engine immobilizer drives would be a mistake. The Coalition for Safe and Secure Data, which is backed by all the major car brands, says it's opening a gateway into vehicle systems wirelessly that can be exploited by anyone with malicious intent. The president of the Boston Network Users Group, Adam Frost, was a yes on the initiative until he read the letter from NHTSA. Before reading NHTSA's letter, here are a few key points of the Massachusetts law, which is essentially an amendment to the 2013 law. Car makers shall be required to equip vehicles with a standardized platform across all makes and models which do not require any authorization from the manufacturer. The platform must be capable of securely communicating all data directly from the vehicle, accessible by the owner, through a mobile-based application. All data shall be directly accessible by an independent repair facility upon the authorization of the vehicle owner, limited to the time to complete the repair. Access shall include the ability to send commands to in-vehicle components if needed for purposes of maintenance, diagnostics, and repair. These requirements start with the 2022 model year. NHTSA's response? The deadline for compliance appears impossible. I have to agree. A car model takes around 7 years from inception to showroom floor. Considering you need time to develop the platform, I think 10 years is more reasonable, although car makers have been dragging their feet and really could have started this 10 years ago. The deadline risks removal of existing cybersecurity as the ballot initiative directs, which could jeopardize public safety. Yes, the law states there are penalties, but does not state how onerous they are. Car makers have little choice but to disable systems. While the initiative requires the system be secure, it does not define what that vague term means, nor does it reflect any established best practices or measures to address cybersecurity risks. They are complaining that the Massachusetts legislature did not define the cybersecurity standards? Is the Ford engineer asking for help from the state senator?
Oh, wow, that's brilliant.
That said, NHTSA has been recommending isolation techniques for security as outlined in their 2016 report. I read this whole report and did not see where they implemented any cybersecurity standards. In response to the NHTSA letter, Nathan Proctor, Senior Director of U.S.'s Right to Repair campaign, made the following statement. If it is impossible to provide secure access to me, the car owner, to the data transmitted by my car, then the car is insecure and the automaker needs to fix that. If access to the data puts my life at risk, regulators should never have permitted these systems to be on the road in the first place. It is absurd to concede the manufacturer's self-serving argument that monopoly access is secure, but any other sharing of data is dangerous. New vehicles are now computers on wheels, gathering an estimated 25 gigabytes per hour of driving data. There's money to be made from a car's GPS location, temperature data, biometric info, and data on key parts. It is estimated that the U.S. connected car data market could be worth up to
$100 billion.
Well, $92 billion. Autonomo is a data collecting agency that has deals with 16 OEMs and collects 4.3 billion data points a day from 40 million vehicles. They claim that the data is anonymized, but it's quite simple to find a common destination to determine a person's home and do a reverse lookup to get their name. Autonomo says thousands of organizations are using their data. So this data is very valuable on the open market, but can't be revealed because that would be a security risk. Coincidence? Definitely! When you use Google Maps, you know you're getting a valuable service for free, but in return, you give up the privacy of your data. You don't expect the same treatment when you're buying an $80,000 car. So far in 2023, 20 states have already filed right-to-repair legislation. None of these cover cars, but it's a good start for consumer protection. As noted earlier, Maine is following Massachusetts' lead. The AutoCare Association, teamed up with several other organizations, is pushing for a National Repair Act. They warn that the gains made by the 2013 MOU could be completely rolled back by telemetric data. Despite the NHTSA claims, the AutoCare Association shows that the International Standards Organization has developed a standard for vehicle data access that is safe and secure for all parties. This would take control of your data away from the profit-seeking car makers and put it in the hands of the vehicle owner. You can go to AutoCare.org and fill out a form to contact your local representatives to help push this reform. Wait, that I was not nominating myself for Influencer of the Year. That was a mistake. I would never nominate myself. Here, this is the correct form. So you probably notice I'm not in my garage, or you noticed when I said I wasn't. It's a tad uncomfortable out there right now, although I did give it a try. I'm Mike, the backyard mechanic, and hey, I have a fan online. Hey fan, I did my best to explain a complicated issue.
Give me a break. That's a bunch of malarkey.
Thanks, fan. Hey, interesting fact. Joe Biden and I are the exact same age, meaning that either I'm 80 years old or he's 24. If you found this information useful, not the Joe Biden stuff, I mean the right to repair stuff, you'll probably also find it interesting that ChatGPT tried to kill me. That's right, I'm Gen Z. Totally slaps. I'm Mike, the backyard mechanic, and this is my car. And this is my car. I'm Mike, the mechanic backyard car. I'm Mike, and this is the backyard mechanic, and I'm my car. Hi, I'm Chris Fix.